Another episode of the Building Walls podcast. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, Mr. Dayton, we got you over there, live and on the air,
You
as
know it.
always.
In the flesh, ready
Yep.
to rock and roll, crush another week. Can't wait. Going to be awesome.
Then we got an awesome special guest for tonight, Mr. Nick Goyette. He's had some political dealings over there in the state of Michigan, getting all
this is going to be a good
highfalutin.
one, my man.
Hopefully, you
Gonna be a
know
good
some of
one.
those deep, dark secrets that we've always been wondering.
We're going to the dark web. We're going to uncover in this episode. We're going to solve the world's problems right now.
So,
Let's go.
I just want to share, I think something kind of interesting that me and you have always been loosely connected, more connected at other parts of life than most. But as I remember, so Beyond Wireless, we have a very small connection there, right?
Dude,
And Dayton loves Beyond.
come
But
on.
I remember talking around then a little more, and because that had to be 8 or 9 years ago. And my thought of you was, I usually lean pretty conservative, but you were more moderate libertarian point of view, right? If I remember correctly.
I wouldn't describe myself as moderate too often, but
No. But
I feel like I am a liberty-minded individual, so that part, yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember as, Trump kind of started to make some waves there. And I feel like that's kind of where we had a pretty good connection, as we both were riding the Trump train for a few years there. And now for you getting involved in some of the politics that you do, I'm sure you can see how having some of those views or things like that have probably taken hold and triggered people in certain ways. So I'm excited to get into that a little bit. But before we get too far there, I wanted to pick your guys' brains about it's an article I saw the other day. And it's funny that came across it. I read it, was getting into it, and then I'm listening to Patriot Radio. And I mean, David Webb talked about this for about an hour straight. What's your guys' take on? There's California, there's New York, and I think Massachusetts have already come on board, and a few other states where they're starting to track credit card sales. There's a different code now. When you go to a gun store, or they're starting to track ammo sales. When you go to a gun store or something and you purchase ammo, even you swipe your credit card, it's no longer a 8,001 transaction or whatever the number is. It's now 8,002. That way, credit card companies, when they report these things, they know when and where and how much ammo that you purchased at any given time. And do you see that? Is this something you think is going to spread across the country more? Or what are your thoughts about this?
Absolutely. I mean, we talk more and more. In my opinion, we don't talk enough about our lack of privacy. But since September 11th, it's gotten worse and worse. They come up with brand new ways. There's brand new apps doing all of these other things that we all know it's happening. We all know there's no privacy. This is just another form of it. Yeah, this is just another iteration of the same. It's going to continue. Yeah.
I think no doubt it's going to continue. For sure. They're going to keep doing it, and they're always going to keep doing it, and they can justify it however they want. I guess at what point do we decide we don't want this anymore? Because there's definitely a balance. Like for me personally, and I think I've talked about this before, but having an app that wants to track me so I can decide if it wants to, like, I don't know, if I'm near a Jimmy John's or something, it wants to give me a coupon. I'm okay with that. because I'm getting benefit from that, or it's custom tailored to like what I like. And I get that they can use data that way. I guess my question is, what the hell are they going to use the data for? You want to know how much ammo I have? I don't even care. The side of me would be fighting doesn't even know what fucking bathroom to use. So who cares?
Jeez. There goes the one
Sorry.
F-bomb for the night. You know?
Yeah, that was now we're rated PG-13.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. It's just
wrong?
It's just crazy that if there's gonna be a point where you're coming to take my guns and you want to know how much ammo that I have, at what point does that matter when you're coming to take my guns? Because you're not gonna take them.
Yeah, you're not taking them. You might. I mean, what are they planning? A siege? They're gonna like hold out. They're gonna wait till you fire off your 372 rounds that you bought at Walmart last week. You know, who cares?
And does Walmart even sell ammo anymore?
I don't know if they do. I don't know.
Self-target now.
Yeah, I know they don't sell guns. Just like Dick stopped selling guns, but I don't know if they sell ammo or not. I think it's kind of crazy too. You can't buy any of that stuff on what's it called? Amazon. I don't have any of that. You can buy scopes and stuff, but you can't buy ammo, guns, nothing like that. Yeah, a gun from Amazon.
That'd be great. Amazon Prime. I need a gun tomorrow. That'd be great.
Delivered by drone.
Yeah.
You know, I had just switched to Verizon. I had Sprint for a while, and I noticed that if I was going to buy Benchmade knives, they're just awesome knives. You know, going to shop for them, and a few other different. You know, I guess they'd be considered weapons. They're, but it would block me. I'm an adult. I have no like settings that I know of that through my carrier or anything I've done that would stop me from checking out Benchmade knives or checking out 9mm pistols or any of that.
Really?
But it would block me out of nowhere. Yeah.
That's wild.
Benchmade knives. That was the most ridiculous, but it would do it for all kinds of things that are, to me, every day, you know, not a big deal. I don't understand why they'd be blocked in general. Maybe middle school kid, but it was happening to me.
Wow. Yeah. The lack of privacy there, right? You can't even, I mean, that's why I get a lot of it. I know a guy that owns a firearm store here in town, and him and one of the other guys that works there were talking about how, like, hey, everything in cash now, Zelle or Venmo, whatever, even though they're starting to track all that too. So it's like, how far can you go? But I mean, of course, when you send somebody a Zelle payment or a Venmo payment, you know, it's not directly related. You can send it to personal or whatever, like that. But it's just crazy. I wonder how far they're gonna go just to see these things to more suppress the average American. That way they can garner more and more. But I really want to get into some of the stuff that you've been dealing with, Nick. Pretty interesting. I think it's something that a lot of people don't see your side of it, I would say, right? You started getting involved in some local politics around there in Michigan. And I find it fascinating when people like you who are on like the boots on the ground, you're the ones doing it. You're the ones dealing with some of the wild libbies out there or whoever that's in politics and all the extreme measures that they try to do. So what was that you had going on with the Davison school board recently? Because you were formerly a member, right?
Yeah, recently I was, I guess a vacancy was created by, you know, I wasn't kicked off. I thought originally that I was informed by the news that, you know, I was off the board or that something like that happened. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know about this yet. Like, couldn't really answer all their questions, tried to, but you know, it was new to me. And I looked into it, the Michigan law. I had just gotten married, and my wife and I bought a home. It's 2 miles outside of the school district that I was on the board of, and I didn't really think about it much. I mean, maybe I was supposed to step down like 30 days after starting to move in, or when I got fully moved in, or before I even moved, or when I said, I don't even know. It just didn't really occur to me because I signed up to serve my community and I wasn't going to just abdicate that duty. So, but that didn't matter because the board president, Karen Conover's her name, recently we've been digging into some possible financial impropriety with a $70 million bond and conflicts of interest and just all kinds of heavy-handed nonsense that doesn't add up to people that have common sense. And, I just got kicked off the board. Why, legitimately had moved and bought a house outside the district, and that's understandable. I assumed that I would, at some point I would resign, but they had the school district, at the direction of the board president, decided that the school district was going to pay for PIs and a team of attorneys and whatever else it took to get me kicked off the board. They knew, so the conservative group on that board, it's there are 3 of us. You need 4 for a majority, and I do some political consulting, and I know what I'm doing, and they knew that we were gonna not be 3 anymore, that we were gonna be 4. We were gonna have the majority of the board, and this president was gonna be. She's been the board president or on the board for 40 years.
Come on,
and
man.
that just she couldn't do it. She anything, whether even if it's the district paying for attorneys and PIs and all this nonsense, they wanted me gone. So that's what they did, and I gave them the opportunity. I didn't want to, but that's what happened. Yeah,
That's wild. So is that something where do they have to have, what is the point of hiring a PI and a team of attorneys just to ask you about the fact that, so because you moved out of the district, is that something where you always have to live within the district, or is that only something where during election time you have to live in the district?
So the law in the particular case of the school board, the way it's written, no, in most all of it, it's you have to live there when you are filing. Okay, you have to keep a registered voting address there. But when it comes to the section on the school boards, it goes further, and one of the parts to that, the last part of this statute, is that it's very clear. And then if you move outside of the district, a vacancy is created. And I looked at different statutes, the way they're written, and I talked to certain attorneys, then friends who talked to their friends who are really good attorneys, and they said, no, this is nonsense. She can't do that. Fight it. Go to court. And I was like, you know how executive action works. I'm going to be sitting there. It's like the slate of delegates from Macomb County that we just saw at the convention. They took over and kicked out a slate of delegates that were duly elected and put in who they wanted, these establishment folks, instead of the America First crew that got in. And they had to go through court proceedings for months and months and months and months. And then I don't know how much money was spent. And then finally they get the decision back down to, that shouldn't have happened. And then we still had to work as an entire party at the convention to change, right to wrong, which took hours, and thousands of people in the convention hall were just spent because of it. It's so anyway, with how that would apply to my situation, I'm going to be in court, but like not on the board for how many months, and how much am I going to have to spend to get my rightful position on the board, when in reality I did buy a house outside of the district. So whether or not the laws can be argued and I can get it back, it's just, I don't have to worry about it now. I signed up. I guess it's technically not a volunteer position, because we get like we get some money, and but it was, I don't have to worry about it now. I feel bad for the district because there's a lot of things that I don't think are right, but
Yeah, that's wild. It's kind of one of those things. What do you do, right? Do you sit there and write it out and with the same conclusion at the end anyway?
That's another just as likely outcome, in my opinion.
You're right.
And I got the thing is, for me, I signed up for another position, county commission. So I have another race, and that's already bad press. And I guess that looks stupid or negative in a way, that I bought a house outside of a district. Maybe that was irresponsible of me. But as a realtor would know, or somebody in real estate, it was pretty tough to find a house in this little. It just
yeah, 100%. I mean, has anybody been paying attention to the last couple of weeks? When did you buy the house? You said this is recent?
Yeah, just over a month ago.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The market has been insane in Michigan.
Yeah. And it was in probate too. Well, so we went through probate too, because the person had passed. So it took forever, and I was exhausting, and I don't ever want to do it again. But
so, what is that role that you had on the Davison school board? Because I have no idea what that even really entails. Like, what were some of the topics or issues that you would discuss and things like that serving on the school board?
So the thing is, so in general, the position, like one of the biggest duties, is hiring and firing the superintendent of the schools to run the district. Outside of that, to set curriculum and update curriculum, and then there's decision making as far as where money should go, strategies in certain respects for different projects or needs the district has. It really doesn't have to be. You can get really down to some serious business on the school board, but the way it was in Davison, because of the president and her majority and nothing, I mean, we were all out of the conservatives were out of the loop and in the corner and just pushed out of the room at any chance she could. If anything she could do to put some bumpers up around us to keep us fenced off and not able to make any changes that she doesn't want or she doesn't think of, she would do it. So
what's the deal with the whole agenda on sexualizing kids these days? Because I'm 45, and when I grew up, in school in the 80s and into the mid 90s, even when I graduated high school in 1995, how it worked back in my day is if somebody showed up and started talking about sexually explicit topics with children, they were locked up and thrown in jail. So I'm not sure when that transition happened, or when that all of a sudden became okay to now have conversations with children about these topics, because I want to know kind of when did that happen, and are we addressing that? Is anybody I think there's a lot of parents waking up to that. especially what happened in Virginia in the last year with the governor's race and a lot of these people, the parents going to school boards. But I mean, I know I pay attention. I'm just curious because, I got married a couple of years ago. I stepped into a relationship. I have a 12-year-old stepdaughter, and she's at that age. So I'm paying attention for sure. But it just seems like normally these people would just go to jail. And yet then I see things on like Instagram and all these other videos of these, like reading with trans people and like, I don't care what people's sexual orientation is. I personally don't. It doesn't matter to me. But I do have a problem if you want to like come to a school and start talking to kids about it.
Like our AG put a trans.
Yeah.
What do you not a transvestite, but she said drag queen, I think.
Yeah.
One of the put one in every school to. Yeah. No.
Oh, that happened in Michigan. That's what they said.
Our attorney general said we need one in every school.
Yeah, that's healthy.
Like I want to know, like, aren't you the person that should be arresting those people in every school? But no, you want to put them in every school. And these are the same people who want to talk about like taking away guns because of gun violence at schools and things like that. It's like, come on, like this is so dumb.
It seems out of hand. But at least in Davison, there's been a lot of news recently. Like there was a predator that was part of Davison, and then a few other schools in the county, and also down in Hamtramck. And he was a coach in Davison for a while. He molested boys.
Oh wow!
And young men. I think I don't know. The sheriff caught on to it and they started an investigation. I think they already locked him up until some kind of trial or something like that. That goes on all the time. This time, in this case, it's caught. But as far as the sexualizing in schools, like I said earlier, you deal with the what's it called? The coursework for the school district and curriculum. And I parsed the curriculum and really spent a lot of time finding out where any of this, where it might go inappropriate. At what age are they talking about what things? What is but even at the school board level, unless I'm going like doing a deep dive investigation, spending 40 hours talking to each teacher, getting questionnaires, doing school-wide and then district-wide, grade-wide surveys, it's really tough to see what it is that they have in the plans and the curriculum, which is completely, I don't know about flawless, but it looks great. But to what actually comes out in the classroom, a lot of it, the teachers have creative license, as simply as I can put it. And there's always ways to change
stuff's got to get reined in. That stuff we need to like have a better system, because it just seems like these days this side of being able to do questionable things never seems to have any recourse. But if you do anything outside or you challenge them, there seems to be a lot of recourse. And I'm like,
if you say the election was stolen or show up at the Capitol on January 6th, there's some recourse.
Yeah, exactly. Of which we've said on this show numerous times that I'm over the idea that there was an insurrection. Like, these people don't even, my biggest problem I have right now in our country is that people just decide to change what the meaning of words is. Like, I don't like what you're saying anymore. You know what you did? That wasn't a riot. That wasn't a peaceful protest anymore. That was an insurrection. You don't know what an insurrection is. You should go back to school maybe and actually learn something other than the bingo. Like, you're not playing your cross-dressing bingo anymore. Like, you probably should just pay attention to what real insurrections look like.
Cross-dressing bingo.
Whatever.
It's fantastic.
So I don't know. I think I might even have talked with Chad about this in 2016. There's changing. You said changing the definitions. The big one for me, the Democrats have always tried to style themselves as the party of equality, but they say equality. That's what they've used to like attract people. The word of it, but what they mean by equality is retribution. That was 2016, and it's only gotten worse.
Oh yeah,
from now.
That's spot on.
That's
right
spot,
there.
yeah, that is.
Because we've often talked about equality of opportunity, or you're talking about equity, and that's what they all want. They don't want equality of opportunity. They want equity. They want you to pay, and retribution is exactly what they want.
They want retribution for harms imagined.
Harms imagined? Oh my God, dude, that's exactly it. Oh my God, that is exactly it. They're like, what planet are you on? I feel like if you look at what Disney is doing, and I think Disney gave us the playbook. They came out with the whole concept of the multiverse. These people are on a different multiverse than us. They're not here in reality. They're not here on Earth. That was
I sit sometimes lost recently. In the past 3 or 4 months, I've sat there lost thinking, maybe due to a situation or because I hear some things that people think or want to happen, and I just cannot comprehend how they come to that opinion. They're on another. You're right. I just can't understand why they would like to.
Because it's Common Core math. Common Core math messed them up. They don't know how to go from like 2 + 2 is 4 anymore. They have to do some complicated nonsense to get around to it. So their brain doesn't function correctly. That's my hot take.
That's spot on. Well,
all right, we gotta move on.
Moving on a little bit here.
Football is on right now. Let's go.
Yeah. So, what is it that you're running for now, Nick? County commission.
County commission.
So, when you is that like the county commissioner, or is that just
that's the title? There's
Genesee County. Genesee County.
Yeah, there's 9 different districts.
Okay, there's 9 different districts within the county.
It's like an executive board of the county, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. How's that race? So and that's coming up in November, right?
Well, the guy who bought the house from him is going to vote for him.
Yeah, just like in 2020.
Took you a second.
Betty Jane Cotton is voting for the Democrat. She's not voting for me.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah, right.
Betty passed a while back. So we know where she's voting.
Yeah, that vote will show up at 3 a.m., right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, so let's break in.
I should look it up because I can. I know she's still registered to vote, too. I'd be interested to know if she's going to get an absentee ballot. We'll see.
You can fill it out on her behalf, right?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm a Michigan resident.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
That's awesome.
All right, I identify as somebody who lives in Genesee County, so
yeah, there you go.
I like this game. This game's real fun. In fact,
I used to live there.
You're going to call me they, them. There's a lot of me. And how many votes did we need? Because that's how many I'm voting for.
Yeah. You're in Chad, you're in Tennessee now, right?
I'm in South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw something.
Oh, yeah.
South Carolina.
We don't have to worry about some of that stuff as much, but in the Columbia area, I mean, it's pretty liberal, but overall it's heavily conservative state. Should continue to look like that for a while.
Nice.
Where's he live?
Well, actually, I think it's North Carolina.
Okay.
Fayetteville.
Yeah. North Carolina. That's where Fort Bragg is.
Yeah, it was pretty neat seeing some helicopter there. Those things, the Blackhawks, I'm pretty sure, are absolutely massive. I had never seen one up close, so
that's cool.
That's what she said.
All right, well let's get into check out this. This is a nice one that I found the other day. Let's get into some a little more light here. Matthew, cue up the video for a real men of genius. I don't know if you've ever listened to anything we do, Nick, that we post, but this is something we started to add in just to make it a little lighter. And the old school Bud Light commercials.
Our salute to the real men of genius.
Yeah, these are awesome. Let's see this.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius.
Dude, I vibe so hard with this thing because I have a couple of little girls. I mean, get a little golf cart that I can push my kid in and holds my clubs in it, so I can go golfing with my 18-month-old child. It's fantastic.
That's a true.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, not at all. You give her a bottle, she can run around a little bit.
Yeah, that's legendary.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't get hit in the head with some guy yelling "4," which is probably Dayton on the other hole.
Dude, I literally had to yell it today once. But you
mean
know
that
what?
was
This group in front of us.
Update?
What's that?
That wasn't a video update?
No. I just a random
wow.
video on Instagram. I found a Real Men of Genius clip.
Real Man of Genius. Let's go. All right, Rant. Do it, Chad. Take us home, buddy.
Yeah, so before I get into it, this is usually I just roll for a few minutes on something that I find stupid. But is there anything that's on your mind over there, Nick, that you just want to rant about, get off your chest for 3 to 5 minutes? Just let it roll. If there's not, that's fine too.
Put him on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Shotgunning one on him right now.
You could.
All right,
there's plenty of stuff, but I don't have 3 minutes of it, and it's pretty out there.
All right, so I'll share this. This is, I mean, you guys have been talking a lot about this stuff, and there's, I think I was watching a video on Instagram, or I don't watch too much Fox News, but I think I might have clicked over to it one night just to see what was on there. And there's a mayoral candidate in Los Angeles. Her name is Karen Bass. She had guns stolen from her home. This is a Democratic mayoral candidate in Los Angeles, had guns stolen from her home. Like, I say that twice because, come on, it's California. It's LA. I didn't think you wanted guns. She's repeatedly has been on the news. They showed clip after clip of her saying how she hates guns. And now she won't make any mention of what kind of firearms they were, how they got stolen, when they got stolen, why weren't they locked up in a safe? I mean, how does someone just walk into your house and steal firearms?
Hiding behind the laws she wants gone.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're going to come into my house and take a firearm, you're either doing one of two things. You're taking it off of my dead body, or you're coming when I'm not home. You're drilling holes through my safe, which everyone down my street has safes and guns in their home. So good luck with that. But the point is, they're properly stored. They're taken care of. You're not just walking into my house and stealing guns. So if I was running around the streets saying how much I hated guns, how I don't want you to have guns because they're such a danger to society, how does someone walk in your house and steal firearms? I mean, this lady should be plastered all over the news just because of the gross hypocrisy. I mean, there's no... What's that?
I mean, yes and no. Like, there's how many of them are in the same category of just blatant and egregious hypocrisy? How can you fit them all in? All these days? How can you do that? I just, there's so like drag queen shows in every middle school. Like,
I mean, if all this stuff is so, if they don't want guns, why are all of these NYC liberals hiring armed guards to protect themselves? If guns are so bad, right? So you have to hire an armed guard. So you have to hire someone with a gun, because that you have to hire someone with a gun to protect yourself from someone with a gun. People like Pelosi has walls around her house, but she doesn't want to build a wall across the border of Mexico. So my big question here is, why can't we use this same logic to protect kids in schools? If they're going to hire armed guards to protect themselves in New York City, don't they always talk about how important kids are?
we can, and actually there are. I don't remember what districts in Michigan, but I know there are some that are right now, like they have.
That's fantastic.
And then yeah. It's, you don't hear about it much. This is like local news type stuff, but people, and it's not in mass. We're not all doing it, even though we should, but it is happening.
I'd like to see a study that rolls out maybe 6 to 8 years from now and shows some of those schools and the amount of just violent crime that happens at those schools, period, versus the schools without armed guards and how much violent crime happens there. Just to see if there's a correlation.
What do you need a study for? Let me do it for you. That's my point, man.
You know what? Facts don't care about our feelings, right? So
They don't.
I at least want to put a little bit of facts to it and say this is the cause.
We've collected data. You know what? I just really wanted to be able to prove that 2 + 2 is 4. And so what I did was I grabbed, this item and this item. That's 1 and 2. And then I grabbed this 3 and 4. So I go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and now I'm at 4. You see, I have 4 items there. 2 + 2 is 4. Great. Now we're all dumber for having sat through that.
Like Billy Madison.
Just like we would be stupid for having to sit there and try to find a report of saying, oh, look, less crime when there's armed guards. What a shocker. Look at my not shocked face.
That's true, because you would do that and the Democrats still wouldn't believe that it works.
No, because they don't believe in reality. They probably say, there's an armed guard here. It's an insurrection of our schools. Anyway, wholesome story. Cue it up.
Yeah, wholesome. Dude, this is fantastic. I saw this. This is just another feel good story for you. Wrap up the show. The Lions were record-setting underdogs for 24 straight games. No longer this weekend against the Washington Commanders. The Lions are favored to win the game.
Yeah, I heard about this actually today as I was driving back from the golf course, and they were talking about it, how they were the last time that they were favored was 2020 and against the Carolina Panthers, of which they promptly lost that game 20-0.
In Detroit Lions fashion.
For those of you keeping score at home, yeah, there you go. That's about as Lion-esque as it gets.
I'm not a sports player, but my dad said something the other day that really piqued my interest. He said the Lions have always been a bookie's favorite team, just the way they do exactly what you just said.
Yeah, the Lions don't lose. The Lions lose spectacularly after they've sucked you in, and you think there's just no way.
Dude, they're winning Sunday, though. They're winning Sunday.
Bet? You want to bet?
$10.
Do I get the points?
No, straight up. No, because you think the Lions are going to lose.
Money line? What do I look like? DraftKings to you? Get out of here.
Dude, straight up, $10.
You bet on DraftKings to your own self.
That's
I
right,
don't
because
bet
you
the
know they're
Lions.
going to win.
No,
You
I
know
don't.
they're
I don't
gonna
bet the
win.
Lions because I've learned not to bet the Lions ever.
Dude, do you remember when we went downtown to Buffalo Wild Wings? I want to say 4 years ago, the Lions were playing the Bucks, and we're like, oh, wow, they have a really good shot. And it was like 42-6 later. Like, oh my God, they're getting destroyed right now.
Yeah, were we with Marks? We were with
Yeah.
Marks then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, they got destroyed. But all right, let's get rolling. Chris's corner here.
I
I'm
want to know
excited for this. What's up?
Has Nick? Did you ever watch any of our episodes before you came on here? Or are you cold turkey?
I watched one, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So
Good.
I'm gonna fire off four questions here. You guys just let it rip.
Yeah,
Well,
Nick, we're gonna tag team these.
I would say
together.
rapid fire, but if when you start rolling for 5 or 10 minutes, I mean, that's as rapid as it gets. All right, so the bombshell Durham report is, I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out from the Durham report about Russia collusion and all that stuff, but it's pretty much flying under the radar. I mean, there's stuff coming about how the FBI informant, the Russian guy, was the same guy who they got all this information from. And then they continued to keep him as an informant 4 years later. I mean, is somebody going to get prosecuted from all this, do you think? Or is it just going to continue to fly under the radar and Hillary Clinton's still going to be Hillary Clinton?
So none of this stuff is actually going to be prosecuted until the adults get put back in charge. Right now, we have a social experiment going in this world where we've decided to have like government, or like JV government. It's not varsity government. We're going with the JV crew right now. They wanted to take their shot. They want to see how they're going to do. And none of the important things that need to happen for continuity, faith in the system, structure, none of that's going to happen while the JV crew is in charge. So come November, when we, upgrade up to varsity and we vote the people with intelligence back into office, and we say, hey, thanks, that was a great experiment. We're going to print out these history books here. We're going to put down, the 2020 to 2022 season in U.S. history. That will be an entire course at the collegiate level, most likely. And, it'll just be called Shit Show. There you go. I take Shit Show 101. Nick, you're up.
My thought is that we don't even know 10% of the truth about that situation, no matter how many reports we read. We're not at that. We're peasants, okay? I don't go in depth about this stuff because there's absolutely no possible way in my station in life I can know the truth about any of it. On top of all the different opinions of what the truth is. It's just not my, I'm not going to know. It's been going, this stuff, we know there's a two-tier justice system. That's not going to change immediately. I don't think it's really going to change at all. I'd love for it. I'd like to be hopeful about it, but it's not going to. It hasn't, it's always been there and it's always going to be there. That's my opinion on it. And I'm not going to ever know the depth, the depravity, the truth of any of it.
I mean, until you become county commissioner and state governor, and you never know.
I can put an end to that real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, on this show today, Nick is going to be sharing with us the dirt he has on the Clinton family. Stay tuned and wish him well.
Yeah, wish him well. All right, so number 2 here. This is wild. A rape victim in the state of Iowa has to pay $150,000 in restitution. Why? Because it's Iowa law.
For what? Restitution for what?
Because she killed the guy.
Family the rapist killed, huh?
Yep. So she
This
stabbed
is
this
Iowa,
guy.
not California.
Yeah, exactly,
Well,
right?
I just want to make sure I'm following along here. So
I didn't know that hit here in the Midwest. I thought that was a West Coast thing or a left coast thing. Pardon.
yeah,
That's good.
left coast. I like that. So just making sure I'm following along here. A guy rapes a woman. The woman kills the guy. The guy's family is entitled to $150,000 from the victim of rape.
So yeah, I'm not staring at the article, but I believe the line the judge said is like, unfortunately, this is just what the law is.
Mr. Producer's writing something. And the girl was 17 years old.
Wow.
Okay.
So I mean, what do you guys think about this? Is it? I mean, nonsense.
Clown world.
I would like to know what the side who's for this says in favor of it. Like, I'm just curious.
So she was initially charged with first-degree murder, which is wild because first-degree murder says it's premeditated.
Well, yeah, I don't know when she said. I don't know the timeline of events. Did she kill him, in the act, or did it happen? She was raped by him, and then she went and found him and killed him.
So, according to the article, neither the police nor prosecutors dispute that she was trafficked and assaulted. However, prosecutors allege that Brooks was not in any immediate, that the rapist was not an immediate threat because he was asleep when she stabbed him and killed him. So, that's where it gets a little sketchy when it comes to that.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to the whole theory of like, oh, you got to wait until somebody's threatening you. No, he already raped me. I've been threatened. I'm still in a state of threatening.
Right. It's kind of hard to stab him with a knife while you're getting raped, I assume.
Right.
Just saying. Not to be, too grim or anything.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, Chad, I think we can all agree on this show that seems to be one of the more ridiculous things. In fact, when I saw it, I thought I read it wrong. Like, I thought it said a rape victim gets $150,000.
Oh, no.
Because
she
it's
pays $150,000.
Like, that would make more sense to me as just a guy here living in Livonia, Michigan, that, like, if the girl gets raped and it's proven that she was raped, that family should have to, be like, oh yeah, we're going to pay you $150,000. And oh yeah. And by the way, we understand why you killed Billy, not that all rapists are named Billy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Billy.
So
Bob.
the more you read this, it says at 15, she ran away from home to escape her abusive adoptive mother. She was sleeping in the halls of an apartment building when Christopher Brown took her in and began trafficking her to other men. I just don't get why there's a law that there's like not some sense of normalcy here where you can understand that a 15-year-old girl and what she had to go through here, that there's not a cause for justice at the end of this tunnel, right? That you're going to, I mean, the judge said he had no other option, that it's mandatory to Iowa law for her to pay restitution.
But you're a judge. You're a judge.
That's the judgment that was
correct. Yep.
That's the whole point. You're a judge. It's your job to determine what should happen.
Because he explained that the restitution
then he should be fired.
Mandatory.
That's what it is. He should be fired. Fire that judge. And he should have to pay $150,000 restitution, along with every other stupid thing he ever passed. He should be paying for it and his family for being that stupid. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Iowa.
She recalls being forced at knife point to go to his apartment for sex after he raped her for what would end up being the last time, the article says. She grabbed a knife off of the bedside table and stabbed him.
Good for her.
Interesting.
Just doesn't sound like it should have been the verdict.
Yeah, right. All right, so cue this next video here. Let's see what's going on here.
Which largely just tried to build a wall, an ineffective wall, along the border and couldn't even finish that in 4 years. We're certainly doing a lot more to secure the border and could be doing even more if Republicans would stop their obstruction. That's it. I'm going to just take one last...
Right, cut it there. Cut it there. Could this administration be any more full of crap? She was giving the Republicans or the Trump administration crap, saying that they couldn't finish a border wall in 4 years. And then says they're doing more than the Trump administration to secure the border, which is the most unsecure that it's ever been, and saying that they're being obstructed by Republicans.
They're all in charge. They're mad at themselves. They control everything. They have the Senate. They have the House. They have the president. What the hell are they talking about?
There's the last time that happened, there was sweeping environmental regulation passed. Every time that happens, they get something done. Not this crew, not the JV crew.
Not the JV crew.
No.
They're mad. They're mad at themselves. I don't understand. They're mad they can't get it done. They want to blame everything. You sound like a 12-year-old. It's everybody else's fault but mine. But the reality is, Chad, here's what it is. Honest to God, the reality is they don't want to say that they want to finish the wall because they don't want to finish the wall. They want open borders. That's what they want. So why would they finish the wall? They're just making lines up and saying, oh, we can't finish the wall or it didn't get done or somebody else didn't do it. But we kind of like it. We like the wall open. We like it. People coming over. We want them. That's them. That's the Democrats. They're in charge. It's on their books.
Have you seen that recent video of, I think it was a Fox News reporter interviewing a illegal immigrant from Mexico? He just asked him questions, and he's like, "So, what do you think about the border?" He's like, "Yeah, we just came across." He's like, "So, do you think you do for real?" He's like,
"I love your Mexican."
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that.
Your cultural appropriation there.
He's like, "So, do you think that the border's open?" He says, "Yeah, like we're just coming over every day."
What do you mean?
Yeah, Mr. George.
Yeah, there you go.
George, how much did you pay the new guy?
Yeah, Mr. George.
$20. That is too much money.
All right, so let's check out this last video here. I forget what these are.
This couldn't have happened without every single one of you, and that's in the literal sense in the Senate. Every single one was required because the other team didn't want to play. And all our distinguished guests, CEOs, advocates, activists, thank you for joining us. And what a great day. Exactly 4 weeks ago today, I signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law.
So, have you guys seen that video or that clip?
No.
Is this not the administration in a nutshell, where he's talking about signing the Inflation Reduction Act and how great of a day it is, as the Dow ticker in the bottom right corner is down 1,300 points? Is that not just the administration in a nutshell?
I'm tired of the lies, man.
I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I don't watch any talking heads. I don't watch that, especially at the federal level. At least at the state level, there's still a chance. You know, I can't. It's like you're a masochist if you watch that stuff. What else?
True.
I mean,
do you want to be lied to by the ringleader of the clown circus for hours on end? No, I think I'll go take on this project. I just don't want to. I know it's a fucking circus.
It's so dumb.
I only watch this stuff for enough just to see clips that we can rant about.
Right.
Because other than that, I'm with you. I'm like, I can't even watch Fox News.
No,
It's tough.
Drives me
It's
crazy.
tough.
I don't watch any. People ask me all the time, "Don't you watch this conservative person?" I can't. Not only do they have, in my opinion, the wrong opinion half the time, even if they're conservative, they talk about it with such like a confidence and like that such surety that it's like you have no humility. You have no idea. Like you're talking. Like I just get so frustrated, even with those so-called conservative talk show people. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I feel it, man. I mean, the Biden administration is the epitome of political idiocracy. They take the cake. And in his case, it's the ice cream. Go ahead. Go get yourself a sundae. Go fall off your bike. Go blame Russia. Yeah, whatever.
I
Russia,
heard
Russia.
Pete Buttigieg, he moved to Michigan. I saw
did
that in
he?
the news.
Yeah. Just it.
Yeah, because
Oh, man.
he's from South Bend, right?
He's the mayor of South Bend, right?
Well, yeah. Now he's the Secretary of Commerce.
I think it's
Transportation.
either
That's it.
transportation.
Well, it's better than
What
old
was that?
Jenny.
With the bicycles. That's
Yeah.
all I remember.
I heard when I heard that the roads were racist.
Yeah.
That was a new one.
Right.
Because I know it's a blacktop, but like, dude, it'll be okay. You can get different concrete. They're not racist.
All
Asphalt.
right. So
You can relax.
I think I'm bringing this full circle here, with a little life topic at the end. And I had no idea. I was just thinking about this earlier, but especially with what you were saying earlier, Nick, how there's always those segments, the Democrats, or not even Democrats, people who don't agree with you. If they have a majority, they always try to figure out the way to segment themselves apart from you. That way they can just continue doing their agenda. And I feel like we've totally lost the importance of facing adversity in life. Every time that someone's wronged, they want to say that it's racist or misogynistic or homophobic. They want to, whatever term fits however they feel in the moment, they want to blame someone versus just facing adversity. And the thing that I think is great is I saw a quote from Becky Harmon. Some reporter asked her a question. She's an NBA coach, part of San Antonio Spurs, and he was asking something about why San Antonio Spurs. And she's like, you know what? No one else has ever given me a shot. I'm a female coach in a men-dominated league. But, I don't look for what people are or aren't doing. I just take whatever my opportunity is, and I make the most of it. Like, what if everyone just took a little humility? Like you said, Nick, with some of those guys, everyone wants to stand on their high horse and rant about how terrible the world is, or whatever.
Because it is
their point of
terrible.
view
Screw
is.
you people. I'm right.
Right. But like, how would you guys describe the importance of having adversity or facing adversity?
Well, the good ideas are supposed to win out, but there's no competition of ideas. There's the value in diversity comes from the competition of ideas. But if there's no competition, what's the value in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, I look at, kids growing up today, and, you hear the younger generations, oh, they're soft. I don't know if they're soft. I think they've set themselves up where they don't enjoy and understand the value of adversity, where, I'm sorry, not everybody's a winner. You have to work hard to win. And this idea that you could shelter, like, there needs to be a transition time from 4, 5, 6 years old, to understand, like, yeah, hey, you're participating, oh, it's fun, you're having a good time. But then part of like having a really good time is working hard to be great at what you're doing so that you can be the best, so you can reach that top, so it's worth it. And I don't think we have a culture set up like that in America. And you're seeing it play out decade after decade after decade, that, kids are being raised missing that fundamental understanding that life is not all roses.
To me, I don't want to put it all on the kids or even the parents. Our society has lost our sense, our values, our morals as a society. Like, this has been how many turnings of generations that we've just kept going down the wrong path, or kept choosing the life of excess and glorifying the life of excess, and the mentally, or I won't get into that, but this isn't just them, and this isn't just their parents. This is just a road that we're humans, we're frail. It is a human thing to be in the position we're in, and nobody wants to nut up and, show some grit and make the change. It doesn't matter if it's Republicans or Democrats at this point.
Amen.
Especially
Agreed.
at the federal level. Sometimes, like I said, you can save a state or a locality, but it's
But then they ship them to Martha's Vineyard.
So awesome.
I'm waiting for the parade. I thought that was aren't they about diversity? Martha's Vineyard is getting diverse, I heard. I thought there would be like front page news and like a party for the Democrats and the talking points. I thought they would love that. Didn't you see that, Chad? That they shipped
Yeah. But wasn't that DeSantis?
Yeah. DeSantis flew up to some illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard, dropped off 50 of them on the very wealthy elitists. I think Barack Obama lives up there.
Yeah.
Here you go. Yeah. And didn't the mayor declare a humanitarian crisis?
Yeah.
Like for 50? You've got 50 people who crossed the border illegally and got dropped off here.
Ron DeSantis.
Play it.
Is under fire for using taxpayer dollars to organize flights of asylum seekers to Martha's Vineyard. The backlash comes as the Democratic governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is asking the Justice Department to pursue kidnapping charges against Republican governors who are sending migrants to Democratic-run cities. CBS's Elaine Quijano is in Martha's Vineyard.
The 48 asylum seekers, mainly from Venezuela, landed in Martha's Vineyard Wednesday afternoon aboard two planes from Texas and organized by Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. Luis Fonseca says he left Venezuela to look for a better life for his 3 children who were still there.
You got it now?
He didn't know he would end up here.
Martha's Vineyard.
They told me there was a work opportunity, he says. We were going to a city, but we ended up staying here. Democratic Massachusetts State Representative Dylan Fernandez called the move by DeSantis disgusting.
Ron DeSantis is a coward. Only a coward uses women and children for their own political gain.
Today, Governor DeSantis defended the flights, paid through a $12 million taxpayer-funded initiative.
We take what's happening at the southern border very seriously, unlike some, and unlike the President of the United States.
The move follows similar steps taken by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Today, about 100 migrants from Texas were dropped off near the Vice President's Naval Observatory residence. So far, Abbott has bused over 10,000 migrants to New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. Mayors in those cities called the actions political and shameful. In South Florida, a group of Venezuelan Americans criticized DeSantis.
We demand him to stop using our pain, our suffering, and our desperation for his political gains.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
if you don't want
the place in the country, you jerk.
Yeah. If you don't want to get shipped off somewhere else, don't come into a country illegally.
You know the crime rate there? They should be.
Cut the video.
The crime rate there is so low. Like, they should be super happy they're there instead of some
affluent, one of the most affluent places on the entire planet.
Yeah. You should be able to get a whole lot of chicken there. I mean, that's like the best destination for him, wouldn't it be?
But hey, kidnapping charges.
Right.
I think
I
we're
love this.
redefining what kidnapping means now. It might be like an insurrection.
Definitions. You and your definitions.
Words.
Instead of deported, we call it kidnapping.
You were kidnapped. All right, guys.
Hey, awesome show. Nick, thanks for coming on. Pleasure having you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah, Nick, nice meeting you. And if there's anything I can do for you, you let me know. I'm right down the street from you a little bit. I mean, closer than
a little bit.
He is.
Yeah, good luck with the race.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, Commander Dayton, our show's back on, right? Handmaid's Tale?
I don't know. Is it out?
I thought it started yesterday.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Under his eye.
Under his eye, Commander.